Okay, so as of today, January 11th, 2025 is the second one I've made today. I have just finished season 6, episode 17 of Grey's Anatomy. And my first order of business is that my opinion of these two is sadly being rehabilitated. So when it came to Richard, I actually feel like Derek handled that like pretty well. Like when he found out about Meredith hiding the fact that the chief had fallen off the wagon, he was upset about it, but he also like gave Meredith the space to try to like figure out how she was going to handle it. And then finally when she was like, all right, like you got to go tell somebody, at that point he was like, okay. And he didn't really do that like I told you so thing. So Derek is a lot easier to swallow this season. He's definitely not my favorite. I would never call him my favorite. I would never call that man McDreamy unironically ever, but he's a lot more tolerable now. As for Mark, he and Lexi broke up. Lexi is blonde now, so like whenever you see like Meredith and Cristina and Lexi like in a scene together, if you don't if you look at it too quickly, you think that it's Izzy. So like I don't appreciate that, especially because now she's sleeping with Alex again, and I'm just like, oh, Alex sleeping with a blonde Lexi. That this feels like emotional torture for both of them. But Mark, I like a lot better now that they've broken up, because now he's not this old ass man going after a 24-year-old. Now he's the guy who went up to Teddy Altman and said, I want to try like this real relationship thing. I'm not taking you to dinner. We're keeping this completely PG. We're going to go out in broad daylight and we're going to discuss the things that we want and the things that we don't want and see if we're compatible. And I was like, slow. I actually applauded the screen. Susie Pepper is back, but we've only seen her for one episode, so I don't know where this girl is at all. The last that I saw of her, she was like Derek's like administrative intern. Like if George was Richard's intern, April seems to be Derek's intern, like administratively. So I'm interested to see how Susie Pepper and the People's Finnick Dare get together at all, to the point where they're breaking up weddings together if they have not shared a scene once since Susie Pepper's return. Speaking of the People's Finnick Dare, it turns out that he is the grandson of Harper Avery of the Harper Avery Award, which, cool. Also, as an ACOTAR sidebar, Tarquin, guys? Tarquin? Anyway, he's got some complicated feelings about his family that he's going to have to work out, especially because they seem to want him at MASH General. But to bring it back to Teddy, I have never met a bigger pick-me girl in my fucking life. Like, there's this whole thing where, like, Teddy wants to leave Seattle Grace because Owen won't love her or whatever, which... And Cristina goes running after Teddy, and she's just like, what do you need in order to stay here? Because, you're the only cardio god that's been here that's worth something. And then she just goes, I want Owen, and Christina's like, okay, cool, fucking take him. And I feel like Cristina, at the time that this aired, would have been framed as wrong for this, but, I kind of get her. And I say this as a happily married woman who would not trade my husband for anything. Because I think there's a difference between, a job and a vocation. And I feel like none of my vocations are things that would ever ask me to give up love or anything. But I feel like surgery, it's a thing. It's like being a chef. Your life is your job. And Cristina has decided from the moment that she was 9 years old and her father's heart stopped in her hands that being a cardiothoracic surgeon was her dream. It was her purpose in life. And I could see how she'd be willing to let go of a man that she really loved in order to pursue that dream. But then Teddy frames it to Owen she traded you for me or whatever. And I'm just like, ugh, Teddy, please go get some self-esteem. Owen, for his part, is deeply unhelpful with all of this. He's basically he literally tries to fuck Cristina into not taking surgeries. And Cristina sets a boundary. She's just like, you asked me to not take Teddy's page, and I listened to you. And that's kind of like when I was with Burke and I gave away pieces of myself until I was standing in a wedding dress with no fucking eyebrows, and that will never happen again. And I was like, hell yes, we love this for you, Cristina. Honestly, there's a world where these two just ditch Owen and then they go out together, and I'm just like, good shit. That's the world I want to live in. Speaking of the Sapphic couples, Callie and Arizona were doing really well until this last episode when it came out that Arizona doesn't want kids and Callie does. And this has been a whole conversation about kids and a family and settling down, which is why Mark is doing all that. because Mark had a daughter that isn't that much younger than Lexi, which is why he shouldn't be dating Lexi in the fucking first place. But it came out that Callie and Arizona are not aligned when it comes to having kids and like expanding their family, so to speak. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna be done soon, which, all right, fine. Maybe Callie could date Teddy, and then the Sapphic storylines will continue with more blonde women. Like, are they just going to keep bringing in like a parade of blonde women for Callie to date? Like, which is fine with me. Alex and Izzy are truly done now because Izzy, like, she came back and she was like, okay, like, I'm trying to get you back or whatever. And Alex is just like, you showed me that I'm a really good dude, that I can be a really good person. And it is because you showed me that I know that I'm better than the way, like, I deserve better than what you're treating me like. I deserve someone who stays. I deserve somebody who fights it out with me. So, like, we're done. And I was like, oh, I love Izzy. Izzy's my girl, but, like, that was an L she needed to take. And she's not in the show anymore. And now he's banging blonde Lexi, which, all right, at least it's age appropriate this time. And I want this Sloane Altman thing to work out as well. Like she's age appropriate. I think they might want the same things. Like, okay, cool. I'm here for it. All in all, I feel like things are kind of settling down at Seattle Grace a little bit. Like, people are like making friends, and like a lot of different things are happening. Like, the guys that I was looking at with like a huge side eye, like Sloane, they're coming out looking better now. So I'm like, this is a good time to be a doctor or a patient at Seattle Grace. Except y'all keep talking about the season 6 finale, so this kind of feels like the calm before the storm. So I want to not be taken in by the peacefulness of everything going on right now, where everybody is happy. Bailey's dating. Bailey's in a happy relationship now with a man that is worth something. This is Ben, the gas man. He's an anesthesiologist, but Bailey called him the gas man, so now he's the gas man. Anyway, he kind of seems like he can match her energy and kind of like go with the flow here. So I'm really, really here for this, and I'm so proud of her for getting back out there. And the problem is now I'm afraid for him because I feel like this is a dude that's like actually worth something. So like this relationship is going. Then again, I feel like Bailey is not going to be tolerant of a lot of toxicity in her romantic relationships, which is why eventually she kicked her husband to the curb. But now I'm just like, are you gonna get hit by another bus? Like, are you gonna go skydiving one day and then you're gonna be like a pancake on the floor, and then it's gonna take like 4 episodes to find out that John Doe is Ben? Like, I want to trust this with all of my heart, but now I'm afraid because the season 6 finale is coming up, and for all I know, there's a skydiving accident, and then we find out like 2 episodes beforehand that Ben is really into skydiving, and it turns out like, oh no, like that pancake is Bailey's boyfriend. All in all, I'm kind of interested to see how we get from, Bailey arguing with Callie about like the state of her surgical field to whatever ridiculousness happens in the season 6 finale. Like, I have no idea how we get here. Either way, I don't know how we're going to get to from here, like this shiny, happy place, to the season 6 finale and whatever happens there. But rest assured, because I basically just sat down and watched Grey's Anatomy all day today, I'm pretty sure we're going to get to the season 6 finale before whatever happens to TikTok happens to TikTok. And if that does happen, whatever happens to TikTok happens to TikTok, I'm already set up at YouTube, and I will figure out how to do like these season finale reactions going forward, because I had so much fun with season 5's. Now I'm just trying to guess like who the mystery patient, like the regular that's gonna die is. It's not Jackson or April, because they have to be together at some point and then ruin a wedding. So like, it's not them. Like, I don't know. I have no idea who it could be. Either way, we're like 5 episodes away from it. So I guess I'll find out soon enough.